Welcome to our live stream of high school sports. Please note that this broadcast is produced by an independent team of sports enthusiasts, and the views, opinions, and commentary expressed are solely those of the commentators and not representative of the schools, teams, or athletes featured. While we strive for accuracy, occasional errors or misstatements may occur. This stream is intended for entertainment and educational purposes only. Thank you for joining us and enjoy the show.
Yeah, come on, let's go. Hey, you ain't never seen nothing like this. Ain't no telling how it might get. It's the hypest right here. High school sports at its finest. So many highlights, you have to rewind it. Hey, Stream City, let me just remind ya. The heart of a lion, a team full of fighters. So many stars on the field, it'll blind ya. They're giving everything they got till the time's up. Yeah, legends in the making. History is made. We just getting started. You ain't seen a thing. YSN, gotta know the name. They gon' bring the flames. They gon' do their thing. Take it to another level, don't hold back. High school, got a passion and we show that. Got the drive and you know they got the heart. Number one spot for your high school sports. Let's go for the win. Hey.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. It is YSN Live for this Tuesday, April 8th. It is a just another day in 2025.
Yep.
Just another day in 2025. Special day in the Oakley house, certainly, as the Z-Man celebrates his 7th birthday. And we are excited to celebrate him tonight. Lots of presents. Mama Yokes coming through with the gifts this year, dude. Unbelievable amount. A lot of wrestling stuff, some basketball stuff, a lot of sports stuff, which, warms my heart. Warms me up right here. But we got a great show for you. Listen, I'm going to give you the reins on this because you made sure that she was invited because she was the quote unquote flying Bobcat aunt, the one that made a lot of headlines with our show last week.
Mm-hmm.
And we tracked down Abby. Who do we have officially? I just gave it away. I'm sorry. Who do we have officially today as our guest?
It's going to be Abby Hodilla from Beaver. We saw her last week on the show doing an incredible play at the plate, jumping over the tag and landing on the home plate with a toe tap, some toe tap swag there. We're going to talk to her about that play, talk to her about her season and all the things that Beaver's going to. A 6-1 start so far for the Bobcats, so they're looking really good to start the season. They haven't played yet in the month of March, though. The last game, the month of April. Their last game was March 31st. So they're still trying to get games in, like a lot of people here in the area. But happy to have one of the representatives from across the border in our Pennsylvania schools. And it's going to be a great talk with the Bobcats catcher and high-flying Bobcat, Abby Hodilla.
The Flying Bobcat. That sounds like a play that Andy Hake would have in his offensive playbook. The Flying Bobcat. Spirit of 76 coming at you. Inside joke. He'll get that. We have, I feel like we've beaten this horse to death, but this weather, dude, we talked about it a little bit off the script prior to the show starting today. And, like yesterday, I was all amped up to do the South Range versus North Canton Hoover game at South Range. Getting ready, literally in the car to go set up, and man, cancellations, and I don't believe, and I'm not going to sit here and point the finger who it was, but I can tell you it's not Donnie Farron, the athletic director at South Range, because I know he wanted to play that game.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta feel like they looked at the forecast, North Canton Hoover, probably most likely, and said, "Yeah, that's a long trip for us to make it, and not guarantee that we're going to play." Pure speculation as our new warning.
It's a fair assessment. That's an hour drive. If you drive an hour and you only get 3 innings in and then have to come back and find a way to finish that game or whatever it may be, like you feel like that's a wasted hour trip. So it's a fair assessment on Hoover's side, but we will slightly. I mean, it's a good suggestion that it was probably on their end because South Range baseball played right across the grass to softball. So
the 13-0 victory, by the way,
Yeah.
for the Raiders. So a good
So,
outing for them. But
I feel like if it would have been on South Range's side, they would have canceled both games. Like that's just kind of the evidence that I have to support that hypothesis.
which is why we put a brand new warning in CYA right at the beginning of our show, because we're allowed to make opinions and things of that, and you can't necessarily sue us anymore. There it is. This is
I have a
a
feeling
entertainment.
that is it a coincidence that you put that on after yesterday's show?
In conversations with Mrs. YSN, she said that you could get away with saying those things and I can't. So basically she said, don't get any funny ideas, Mr. Yoakley. Because Anthony is a free spirit. He is he's an innocent young man, and you are not, basically, is what I got out of that conversation.
You were not.
If the roles were reversed, we probably have lawsuits. However, we have Anthony Hartwig, Ronnie Hart, as I like to call him, and he's innocent. I mean, he is pure as and
One of those ones like it took me a second, but then I was like, oh crap.
then I mean, as bad as it was, I had to explain the taco reference to you today. Like you went from one
That one went
didn't
way
even
over
know
me.
it.
Yeah, that one went way over me.
So it was great. I mean, we got a lot of good feedback from that. People laughing. And that's all that matters because it's this show is fun for the most part.
No, it's fun. It is fun.
We got some things we have to take seriously, some topics, but we're talking about sports. How can it be anything but fun? We'll figure a way. We'll screw that up too, and we'll try harder tomorrow. Hemi, I got a bone to pick with you, buddy.
Oh.
Even though I appreciate your happy birthday, Z-Man. That spark is gonna be flying today. You want to tune in for the spark today, because I'm all geared up. Got a little package in the mail from Mr. Hemberger. Apparently, I got 2 packages in the mail from Mr. Hemberger, and one never made it to my desk.
One never made it.
One never made it. Would have been delicious. Maybe wouldn't have partaken in it because of where it's from, but we will talk about that at the end of the show. Ant, you had a chance to see some softball last night, and I say some because you didn't see the conclusion, and neither did our viewers because you had to shut down in the 6th inning.
Yeah, it was a great AAC matchup between Austintown, Fitch, and Boardman. Started off as kind of a pitcher's duel, really. Fitch scored 2 runs off of, a RBI ground out and RBI walk in the first. It was 2-0 for a long time until the 4th inning where Fitch kind of broke through a little bit, and then Boardman answered. It ended up being 9-4 when I had to go in the top of the 6th. That was when the rain came. We were not undercover at Boardman softball, so once the rain came and the winds were, making those trees behind the backstop kind of do this, I was like, yeah, probably a good idea to protect the equipment and skedaddle. But I did stay to watch because I wanted to see if I could get post-game interviews, but couldn't finish the game because what happened was in the bottom of the 7th, down 9-4, Boardman put on a furious rally. They scored 5 runs, and they had a very good chance to walk it off with the bases loaded. But Fitch came through. They got the last out. They needed to force extras, and then before they started the top of the 8th, umpires Rich Randall and Linda Papagna got together and just decided, 1, it was raining even harder than it was when the rain started, and 2, it was about 7:35. So the darkness was there, especially because it was cloudy and there was no even the essence of the sun peeking through. So they decided, you know what, the way this game's going, the 8th might take forever because both these offenses have a lot of momentum right now. So they just decided, you know what, 2 teams are playing again on Wednesday. Let's just let's suspend this game. And it was suspended because of darkness and weather. And they will probably, this hasn't been confirmed, but I would imagine they would continue that game tomorrow when they're supposed to play again at Fitch. So they'll probably finish the first game first and then start a new game after that. Maybe a little bit of early start tomorrow, if I would guess. Probably maybe a 4:30 start at Fitch to finish the game that got suspended, and then play the regular scheduled 7-inning game that is scheduled for tomorrow.
Sammy Torres saying rainouts and snowouts. Gotta love Ohio weather.
There were a lot of games that couldn't get finished last night. Boardman and Fitch were not alone in that boat. A lot of games got suspended.
There were, at least on Game Changer, there were 3. And it was Fitch and Boardman, the 9-9 battle, as you talked about. We had Maplewood and Pymatuning Valley doing battle. Maplewood with a 10-1 lead. As they suspended that, and Crestview with an 8-0 lead over Liberty. That game is suspended, at least on Game Changer as well. And then some other game. I mean, you look at the list. Which, by the way, if you're if you didn't pick up your Game Changer subscription this year, you need to, because the changes that they've made to their scoreboard is so helpful for us, because you can see final scores, you can see what's scheduled for today. It's really good. Well done.
Also, to add that, there was one other game. Lakeview and Girard softball are suspended. Top of the 6th, Lakeview is up 10-5.
Wow. And Lakeview, we'll see you down there, baby.
Yeah.
I believe
we did the journalism. We got that squared away. I know on yesterday's show we were trying to figure out what Lakeview's schedule was in Myrtle Beach. We did the journalistic integrity. We got the schedule down there, so we are locked in for Lakeview down at Myrtle Beach. We know where they'll be and when they play.
You and Mrs. YSN took care of that. That's on the schedule now. I'm locked in for that Saturday doubleheader. So, hey, Aunt, appreciate you getting me more work to do while I'm down in Myrtle Beach. Appreciate you. All right, Scott. Scott's saying I believe it is a final. What's a final? The Crestview.
Oh no, he thought you were talking about the probably Boardman Fitch baseball. Softball is not final. Boardman Fitch baseball is a final.
Okay.
Yeah, Boardman Fitch baseball is a final score.
Scotty says definitely the most miserable weather game to watch. Yeah, I sit here and I can complain about not doing a game yesterday, when I wanted to, but I was ready to be bundled up. I was prepared. They said it was coming at 5. It didn't come till 7, but we may have been able to get out of there. But you may have been in a situation, Ant, where there's 18 runs scored in a game, and you're sitting there, and you're like, "Oh boy, here it comes."
Oh boy. For me at Boardman, it was decent when the game started, temperature wise, because the sun was out, there wasn't a cloud in the sky. When the temperature turned was right about the 5:30, 6 o'clock hour, because then the clouds came and the wind came. The wind is what made it brutal. I mean, we had winds that were, like I said, so strong that the big trees behind the backstop were waving back and forth, and my laptop screen got blown, down. So, the wind was really coming, and that turned the temperature from maybe 50 all the way down to, 40, 39 in in a heartbeat.
Well, yeah, and you look at what Rob's saying, the crazy weather basically had to shut the stream down last night, half inning early, just for safety. And, it's crazy. Wind picked up. What do you say? Wind picked 10 tied? Oh, tent tied to the table with 3 dudes sitting in. That's insane. And it's frustrating. But here's the thing is the argument that is made for 2/3 of the year cannot be made in most cases for spring sports, because you're not paying to get in to baseball and softball. Or I want to say lacrosse, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I think they can charge you in lacrosse. But
yeah, and track probably the same way. I think they charge to get into track.
Yeah. So you out. Good old Canadian weather. There it is. Couldn't have said it any better, Hemi. Couldn't have said it any better.
It's not a good thing, Hemi. We're not praising the weather. You missed the point.
I'm frustrated from a standpoint like we want to get these games in. We want to be able to do 1-2 a day, if we can. Today doubleheader for South Range and Niles moved it to tomorrow. We want to get these games 100%, and it's frustrating for us. That's our livelihood, right? We do games. And this kind of supplements it, as opposed to like we'll never replace games with shows, because it doesn't make sense to do that in this format. But it's dicey this time of year, man. Like that's why football is still like the number one watch, because in 99% of cases you're playing and we're going to be there. As opposed to this is like people complaining about, hey, you said South Range North can't. Well, it was canceled. We can't be there if it's canceled.
Right.
Well, you need to pull it off your webpage. Touche.
We'll get right on that.
Sorry about that. Listen, I love criticism, constructive criticism, but there's a lot of people like they just poking those holes, man.
Mm-hmm.
Poking those holes any way they can. But let's get to a comment real quick, and then we've got Abby in the background who's going to be popping in here from Beaver. I feel like with how condensed the season is, by the time the weather cooperates, it's 2 season games, then the playoffs. I mean, yes and no. Like we've had perfect runs of weeks of games, and then we felt like it was going to be like this way coming into it. You and I talked about it. We had 80 degrees in January, which usually doesn't bode well, because Mother Nature is going to be a what coming into February, March, and now April. So, we were kind of ready for this. And I say ready in a mental capacity, as opposed to, okay, well, what do we do now? Twiddling our thumbs and doing games. Because I know you don't like shutting down early. I know Rob doesn't like to shut down early. You like to see those games to completion.
I'll tell you what, DJ, when I saw Boardman come back, I was like, there was a part of me that was like, dang, man, like, because you could be broadcasting that. Props to Boardman. I wasn't rooting against you, but there was still a part of me that was like,
Freddie Moose is going to
could have been doing that, man.
Freddie Moose is going to get you.
I know. Don't get me.
Ladies and gentlemen, this time we bring in a young lady who we think the world of before this particular incident or fantastic play, whichever way you want to cook it up. But she is now known as the Flying Bobcat from Beaver. Ladies and gentlemen, come on. I'm stealing your thunder. You do it. You're the one who pulled her on the show. You do this.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Beaver, it's Abby Hodilla.
Abby, good to see you.
How we doing, girl?
I'm good. How are you?
We're good. Probably not as good as you, but we're good.
Abby, I'll start it off here. I mean, from a standpoint of what you were able to do before this play and what you've been able to do after it, you've become kind of a local legend in your area. But we're going to run this play for the people who may have not seen it prior to right now, and how crazy this play was, just to set up this entire interview and to set up kind of the way your season has gone. So hang tight right now. We're going to put this play up on full screen. Ball gets by the catcher. Oh,
just good old fashioned hurdle,
Abby, take us through this play as we run it through again. You're obviously on third base. What were you seeing? What were you watching for? And how did you know to make that jump when you did?
So that lefty catcher the pitcher was throwing outside all day. So I kind of just was making sure she didn't grab the ball when she was turning, and I wanted to make sure she didn't have the ball when I was going for home, because at that point in time we were tied 0-0, so I wanted to get us up on the board. But as you watched, I made sure she didn't have the ball, and I just came in and I jumped over the tag. It just felt pretty natural, I guess, because it was just she's under me, so I kind of just jumped right over it.
Okay, so I have to ask the question. As a former catcher myself, I know the rule is now you can't jump over the catcher. How did you know that you weren't necessarily going to jump over the catcher? You were going to jump over the glove. And how in the world did you get your foot down on that corner right there? I mean, look at that. Couldn't have been any more perfect for you to just put your foot down on the corner of that plate and score that run.
So, when she was coming in with the ball, she looked pretty low, and I was like, I'm just gonna go for it. And I jumped over it. And then when I was looking at the plate as I was jumping over, I was like, oh, the back part's open. So I just kind of stuck my foot out and hoped and prayed it worked.
Have you practiced that before? Is that something that you you basically you practice during practice, or you practice during travel season or anything like that?
No, not at all. So it was just a surprise.
Is that the first time you've ever done it?
Yes.
Gosh.
Now, Abby, you are also a catcher on the defensive end. So, what are some things that play taught you that you take into, okay, that's not going to happen to me when I'm on defense?
Making sure I cover the whole plate and not just the front of it, and definitely like just making sure I know where my surroundings are and knowing where, like, if the runner is coming from third, knowing where to set up properly.
I thought it was great that you led into it and said it was a left-handed catcher. To me, that tells me that, I mean, it seems obvious, right, when you watch the film, but when you're sitting on third base, you're not necessarily thinking about, okay, well, she's a left-handed catcher, but you're running down and you were able to establish it and understand, okay, there's only something, some parts of that plate she's going to be able to cover. She's not going to have that ball out with her left hand. She's going to have it in her glove. So she's coming across and you're going over top, which we think, now we don't know this for sure. We think that the letter of the law gave you the freedom to do that because she led with her glove as opposed to she was sitting there with her body. If she was sitting there waiting for you, you weren't permitted to jump over her. But
Yes,
because
I would
she
have
extended
to.
her glove, you're allowed to jump over the glove, correct?
Yes. And if she wasn't like extended, like you said, I would have to slide into her.
Which
Abby, that was
doesn't make it as fun.
Yeah, that wasn't making it fun. And the only thing
Yeah.
that really matters at the end of the day is the umpire did this. You can argue about rules, anything after that, but the umpire said safe, so there's no conversation after that at the end of the day. Abby, besides that play, you've been having a great career at Beaver. You were one of our all-stars from Beaver last year. Talk about kind of what you kind of set as goals this year and some things that you really wanted to accomplish this season as a Bobcat.
Definitely leading the team and trying to take some of the younger girls and show what Beaver's about and how going from either just practices or like traditions with games and just trying to like lead them as a team and as a person to lead the younger girls.
When did you feel like you had to become that leader?
Um, I'd say my freshman year when I was starting behind the plate, I figured out that real quick that I really needed to lead the team, whether it's just like feel like outfield, like knowing where to throw when like just in general, like being able to tell them, oh, you need to throw here or there and directing the whole team.
One of the things you said is you want to show people what Beaver is about. Describe to us from your perspective what Beaver is about. What are some things that define this Beaver softball program and what it means to be a Bobcat?
I'd say being a part of the team, it's like amazing just being able to say, oh, I'm a part of Beaver softball. It's like just awesome, and it's just so fun. We make everything fun, and just having that team behind you is amazing.
It's funny when we look at Beaver softball, when we look at Beaver sports in general, when we first started our relationship with Beaver, your AD Kevin over there, who, by the way, give him a high five whenever you're done with this because he's awesome. It's we're trying to compare apples to apples, right? So who in Ohio represents very much like Beaver and Mohawk and vice versa. It's different in PA. I can say that because I went to school over there at Westminster. There's always a fight between who takes their sports more seriously. For you, it's not like it's a different country, but sometimes it feels like it. When you look at what sports means to you and sports means to your school and to your area, why are sports so important?
Um, for me, sports is just like a place to go have fun and just relax, but also like putting in hard work and just knowing that I can have something. For the school, I think it's just like trying to be the best we can all be and prove something to people.
All right, so you get to play high school in PA, but then in travel, we know that you come over here and you're playing with a lot of area players at the athletics program.
Oh, wow.
Do you see any style differences in Ohio travel softball compared to your high school softball in PA? Are there style differences between the two state softball games?
Um, yeah, a little bit. There's not much of a difference, but there is a little bit just coming from like especially from like travel in high school. Those are obviously different. There's different levels, so
Mm-hmm.
but a little bit, but not much.
So you're telling me you're on the athletics team and
Mm-hmm.
you don't come into our athletic studio to sit down for this awesome interview?
It's the middle
I
of the school
wish you
day,
guys.
BJ.
No. I mean, I'm just joking with you. But it's one of those things. Like I'm learning as we go too. I had no idea you were on athletics. I mean, for you
Mhm.
to, I'm assuming you train here, right? So what is that like for you to be able to come into a facility like nothing else around here and to train at a very high level?
I think it's really cool just to see like all the different things that we can use with the batting cages in the field and just it's really open. It feels like home, to be honest. It's just an amazing place.
I want to know about your softball journey. Talk about kind of your start in the sport, what got you interested in it, and what made you fall in love with it.
Um, so I started actually on my fourth birthday. Um, my older brother played baseball and I grew up on the field. So watching him, I kind of was like, oh, I want to try this. So on my fourth birthday was my first ever softball game. So that like really helped me. Like, I'm like, oh, I can do this now. So it was really
So
a little bit of a milestone with that.
It was actually on your fourth birthday that you had your first game.
Yes, my mom was actually talking to the commissioner and my mom was like, she really wants to play. Like, is it okay? Because you have to be like 4 to sign up. And he's like, yeah, that's okay. As long as she's 4 on her first birth or on the first game, then yeah. So, I mean, I always grew up with my
Wow.
brother playing. So I always had him to look up to.
you made the deadline by hours.
Yeah.
When was the moment that you kind of realized that like I love this sport and I want to work hard at it and I want to be the best softball player I can be?
Um, Probably when I was like 13 or 14, when I started travel ball, it like I saw a whole different side of it that
Mhm.
actually like just inspired me the most.
Lane's on in the chat saying that she's such a proud best friend right now.
Hi,
Um,
Lainey.
for you, I mean, there's eyes all around you, right? You were that 4-year-old that was watching your brother play, and then played in your first game, and now you've got the eyes of Western Pennsylvania watching you. What is that like for you to be in that role model kind of capacity?
I feel like honored, I guess, because obviously I was that little girl looking up to the varsity players, and now I'm that varsity player. So it's amazing.
Do you ever have moments where the reality of you being a role model really hit you in the face? Maybe a girl comes up to you and asks you advice or things like that. In those kind of moments, what does that feel like for you?
Um, yes, I do have those moments, and I think it's cool to see that like I have learned so much, and I can actually give it to other people and show what softball's about.
All right, so we got to get off the script a little bit and ask you about what your plans are beyond softball, beyond the diamond. Ultimately, I'm guessing you want to play at the next level, but what other things are you looking to do along the way?
Yes, I'm looking to play in college, and I'm looking at all my different options, but eventually I want to go and either study in animal science or biology with a pre-vet. So I'm looking at a lot, but I'm up for the challenge.
I've got to ask the follow up question. Then you love animals. You have to love animals from that standpoint. What kind of animal? Do you have any pets at home?
Yeah, I have 2 cats, but I've always wanted a dog, so hopefully I'll get one soon.
Hey, mom and dad, dogs. Come on. What would you name the dog?
Trooper.
Trooper.
I like it.
I like that. Well done. So if it's Trooper, that's a boy name, right? Or can you? Is that a unisex name
think-
from a standpoint? Can you make it Trooper a girl?
I feel like it depends on the dog. I feel like the dog picks its name.
Like if it's a big dog, I don't think it needs to be Trooper. Like a big dog, like all right, come on, Trooper. Like, but a name can be a game time decision as well. You got to look at the dog and be like, okay, is this a Trooper or is it a rookie or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
If you had to pick your breed, what's your favorite breed of dog?
Definitely, probably like a German Shepherd or a French.
I knew she was a big dog girl.
That's a trooper.
I knew it.
That's a trooper right there. When you say German Shepherd, it's like yep, that's trooper. Abby, when you pull up to a game, you get to pull up in a giant yellow Hummer. What's that like? I mean, that was your 16th birthday. You got a Hummer with a bow on it.
What?
Yeah, big yellow Hummer.
Yeah.
That's intimidation. When you roll up to a game, and you roll a home game at least, and you roll up to the parking lot in a giant yellow Hummer. What? Talk about that. Was that like a dream car for you?
Actually, it wasn't at first. I either wanted like a truck or a Wrangler Jeep, but I think I got the best of both worlds. And I mean, it's out there, so
It's out there.
You're like the female version of LeBron James getting a Hummer for your 16th birthday. You probably don't know that story about LeBron James. That was way before your time. Let's talk about your family real quick because I mean, so proud of our granddaughter. I mean, that's impressive that grandma is on this stream tuning in. For you, what does it mean to be part of your family? Who do you look up to, and who's really helped you along the way?
My whole family has. They all support me. I think maybe my brother the most though because he taught me all I gotta know. I mean, baseball and softball are different, but they have a lot of similarities. So just being able to go to the field with him or just talk about a play or something, just being able to like communicate with that and just have someone to relate to.
Abby, my last question for you. I want you to be able to talk about some of your teammates, and I want to know this year, who's one of your teammates that you think you've gotten really close to that maybe the relationship wasn't as strong as it was before this year, and this year you've been able to really build that bond?
For high school, I'd probably say Jaden Brown. She's also a pitcher and outfielder, but we've definitely connected a lot more over the season.
Abby, we can't thank you enough for taking some time out of class. Hopefully we got you out of a test or something to really be able to cash in for you. We're so happy to have you as part of the YSN family. So happy to be able to cover these wonderful plays, not just that one, but every single one seemingly has your name on it. Ladies and gentlemen, the Flying Bobcat, Abby Hodilla. Thank you, Abby.
Thank you.
There she goes. What a humble young lady. Across the board. And hey, journalism. Way to go with the Hummer question.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where did you pull that from?
When you go to her Instagram, the first thing you see, it's a pinned post, is a giant yellow Hummer with a bow on the top. So it's like, okay, 16th birthday, that's a big gift.
Journalism. That
Journalism.
is as good as it gets. with Anthony Hartwig and his journalism right there. Yeah, I mean, we got Jennifer who's chiming in saying, great job, Abby. I agree 100%. Lane chiming in, Grandma got in on it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's impressive. It's very impressive.
You know, Jennifer knows something about strong Beaver athletes because her daughter Ainsley is one of the best basketball players we have in the YSN family over in Beaver. So
We missed you at the
Beaver
All-Star
community
game.
is strong. The Beaver athletics community is strong.
Oh, dude, I mean, I'm telling you, I'm kind of, excuse me, I'm kind of a man without, I don't want to say man without a country because I know what country I come from. But I will say this, I mean, my wife's from Pittsburgh.
Mhm.
Everybody knows I'm from East Palestine. I went to school, Lima, Ada, Ohio, Ohio Northern, transferred to Westminster. So I've got that Ohio, Pennsylvania connection. I'm a Pirate fan. I'm a Steeler fan. I'm a Penguin fan. You know, it's there. The fight is real of who has better sports, Ohio or Pennsylvania. I'm torn because Beaver, to me, can battle with almost any team in the YSN universe. You know, like in Mohawk's the same way.
We were going to see it. Beaver was supposed to come to South Range on Thursday, but unfortunately Beaver has to make up a league game against Hampton. So they had to bump that South Range game. Hopefully they get that made up and they're able to still come to South Range later on this season. I was so looking forward to that one because that would have been fun. Because obviously Abby gets to play with a couple of those South Range girls in travel. Selena De Jesus also on the athletics team that Abby plays on. So it would have been fun to see some teammates in travel go up against each other. And but unfortunately, at least for Thursday, that game is off the table.
Well, there's ties between the coaches too, correct?
Yeah.
Spanky is uncle?
I want to say uncle, but I don't, once again, that warning there. We don't have to be correct on everything.
Not anymore, baby. Let it fly, Ant. Let it fly.
We're going. Confidently say it.
I mean, that's the cool stuff. And these cross-border battles that and I'm not afraid to say it, we have helped facilitate. And we have openly said, hey, have you ever thought about playing that team?
Mhm.
You know, which prior to YSN, there wasn't a whole lot of, hey, let's go find Mohawk if you're South Range or you're Hubbard or, you know, now there is. Now there's, hey, what about them? What about, you know, we can play these guys. And that's what this is about, you know, to be, there's no borders necessarily that should stop you to be playing these, what I think are friendly rivalries and potentially really good rivalries and rivalries that carry a lot of people to a different place, you know, and you can see a little bit different of a game, especially in basketball. There's some carryover from Ohio to Pennsylvania and vice versa, but you know, basketball, I'm going to catch some flack for this. There's a lot more physicality in basketball in Pennsylvania than there is in Ohio. Outside of the EBC is the asterisk, right? So I think Pennsylvania is a lot more physical. And it's really interesting to see them come over here and play the Ohio brand of basketball that we have, which is a lot more skill, three ball, you know, like all that stuff. And then it's like playing 2000s basketball in the NBA in comparison to early 90s.
Right.
Like you're going to get clothesline in Pennsylvania and they're not going to blow the whistle.
That's the truth, man.
It's crazy.
They know how to box out over there. That's for sure.
Yeah, with elbows. And I love it. I'm here for it. I mean, I don't want anybody getting hurt, but at the same time, Pennsylvania's physical. They both start with a P. So
do you think that physicality translates into their football programs, though? That's the bit. Like, do you think Pennsylvania football is just as physical as their basketball?
If you're not playing Aliquippa or North Allegheny, I think Ohio is overall better brand of football. I think when you're talking about the Quips and when you're talking about North
Farrell might raise their hand a little bit over there too.
Well, but Farrell's been good, but we've seen them take a step back.
Yeah, a little bit last year.
You know, and I mean,
this is a conversation that Mike Ackelson is probably like, I need to be in on.
Oh, he's calling in. Yeah, there's no doubt. But honestly, I think that that it's very even on a lot of fronts. It's just a different style, and it's again, it's one of those any given night things. But like football, I have to lean towards Ohio a little bit, and it's one of those things like it's just more consistent, and you might be better from a quarterback position in Pennsylvania, maybe overall, like historically, yes, especially in the Beaver Falls area. Pennsylvania has done a really good job of sending guys all the way up, and then being Super Bowl champions and Hall of Famers even. So we might have a little bit to catch up with there, but at the same time, I think overall the brand of football in Ohio is better. Now, baseball, softball, buddy, I think you're about a 50-50 split.
Yeah, the coin's still up in the air on baseball and softball.
I'm really interested. But, I mean, you have these other sports that have come along the way. Soccer, I don't know enough about to even hit on. Lacrosse, Ohio is garnering a lot of attention in lacrosse all of a sudden, which I think is interesting. But, again, I mean, you said it yesterday. You say Ursuline or Mooney or, Canfield, and a lot of those people in Pennsylvania know those names.
Yeah.
And they go, oh, I don't know if we want that. We don't want that smoke necessarily.
Yeah, we're not looking for that smoke.
Yeah. They also think they're probably going to get whacked. It's probably a situation. People in Pennsylvania, if you say you're from Youngstown, they're like, oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Don't say anything too raunchy. Because we could end up in the back of a trunk.
You can end up sleeping with the fishes.
Yeah, you're gonna make me a sandwich, huh? Huh? We're not like that anymore.
We've gotten past that.
You lost the steel mills over in Pittsburgh, in Pennsylvania. We lost the mob.
We lost the mob
about the same time. Okay, relax. We're not gonna feed you to the fishes, and we're not gonna give you a sandwich.
But maybe don't take a long drive with us into the cornfields.
What?
That scene in The Godfather where they take Paulie and they give him on in the highway by the cornfields, and that's where they shoot him.
I'm sitting here telling people they can trust us, and you're like, if we go into a cornfield, all bets are off. All bets are off. That's all we have is cornfields, Ant. That's all we have.
Exactly. Don't mess with us. Don't mess with us over here, man.
I'm trying to. We're trying to extend the olive branch to people of Pennsylvania, and you're sitting here after we have a lovely Pennsylvanian girl coming on our show, and you're like, don't go to the cornfields with us. Bad things will happen. It's the 15-inch thing all over again. Oh my gosh.
Feeling froggy this week, DJ.
You are, buddy. You are just walking content right now. It's incredible.
Walking. Huh.
I didn't mean it like that.
I know. It's all good.
Here we go.
Oh,
Rob says, wait a minute. He just snapped the olive branch. Leave the gun, take the canola. Grab the canola.
Exactly.
Do you have any Italian in you at all?
No, I just like mafia movies. I have
You're a dreamer.
My heritage is German, Irish, and a little bit of Native American.
So you were the furthest thing from mafia.
Yeah.
The wheelchair
mafia. There's Irish mobs.
Oh yeah, I know that. What's that movie? Italian Job?
Yeah.
Yeah. Got it. That's not right. That's not the movie.
That's not the movie.
That's not the movie at all.
I don't know what you're
People
going
are like,
for.
wait a minute.
I don't know what you're going for.
No. It's an Irish movie. The Fighter? No. Oh, people. Boondock Saints. Isn't that Irish Mob? No? Have you seen Boondock Saints?
No, it's no. I'm trying to think of the one you're thinking about.
I don't know.
We'll get
journalism. I'm just an American. I'm just an American.
Journalism. We'll get
it. Don't Google it.
I'm Googling it.
Power 3 has Irish Mob. There we go.
What?
Rob's got us. I don't know what the power three is, to be honest with you. Power three is the Boston Celtics and the
Well, I mean,
2000.
like the Godfather mentions the Irish mob, but
You and the Godfather right now, man. We got to get you out a little bit. We got to have these rain delays stop because you're watching too much Godfather.
not the third one.
There it is. Mrs. YSN coming in clutch. The Departed.
Oh yeah, with Leonardo DiCaprio. And
Oh, I'm sorry.
Robert
I
De
didn't have the
Niro.
keyword of Leonardo DiCaprio.
no, I was just
tip you
that
off.
was the one. That was the one that like yeah. I was-
Titanic. That was the one about the Irish mob.
yeah,
Titanic.
exactly.
That was it.
Near, far.
Wherever you are.
Celine Dion covers coming soon to the YSN album.
Celine Dion and Garth Brooks. Nobody better.
Maybe not. Yep, nobody better. Maybe we'll hold off on Celine Dion since she's a Canadian import.
Oh, she's out.
Out.
You know what? Is Garth Canadian?
No,
Are we sure about that?
I'm sure.
He acts like one sometimes. All right. It's time. We've ruined this show enough. We've taken up enough of people's time. It's time for the Joe Dickey Electric What's Your Spark, presented by Joe Dickey Electric. They are everything electrical, and you can visit them 24/7, 365 on the web at dickieelectric.com. All right, Ronnie, what's your spark?
Oh, geez, my spark today. Man, I just want warm weather. I just want warm weather. I'm a warm body. I'm waiting for like anything over 60, please. I feel like it's only been over 60 like once this spring, and it also was raining. So, like let's have this weather break, please, 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 please. Mother Nature, whatever we did to offend, we're sorry.
No, you don't bow down to Mother Nature.
You do. You make her happy, whatever it takes.
She's a skank.
Gaia.
Yeah, remember that. She is the ultimate Canadian. Which brings me to my spark. Steven Hemberger, I see you out there, and you're probably giggling right now because you know where I'm going with this. He sends me a message today, and he says, hey, did you get the package I left you? Did not. Go check the front desk. There's a package. Open it up. Now, keep in mind the constant theme of what we've had for approximately 3 months now. The Canadians. We talk about the Canadians. We even characterize people who we're not necessarily fans of for that particular moment as what, Anthony?
Canadians?
Canadians. So in this package, and I'm going to have to move this for a second. Here I get a present from Steve Hemberger, of course, of all people. This. A Canadian flag.
There's a screenshot right there. It's been going all over the internet. A DJ holding up the Canadian flag. No context.
You son of a gun. You stack of subs. Sending me. Yeah, he's laughing at it right now. Now, he sends me this Canadian flag, and he also sends me, allegedly, he sends me some maple syrup from Canada, which I would not drink or consume. I don't know what you technically do with Canadian syrup. You put it on pancakes, as I'm told. It will not go on my American pancakes. There will be no toppings of Canada on my American pancakes. No, it's just not going to happen. It never made it to me, Steve. Somebody took it, and rightfully so. That's what a Canadian would do. They would steal it. And they would probably apologize, but they'd steal it anyway. But what I'm going to tell you is, first off, thank you for thinking of me and making a running joke and giving me content. But secondly, keep the Canadian stuff. Because this old heart beats in 3 rhythms: red, white, and blue. And for the French Canadians out there, it is bleu, blanc, and rouge. Blue, white, and red. Just keep that in mind, okay? We're no longer accepting Canadian gifts of any. We're going to retire this flag to a Canadian Mountie or whatever they have out there. We'll give it to a nice Canadian. Yeah, there we go. America. That's what I'm talking about, Robert. That's what I'm talking about. The red, white, and blue. Hulkamania running wild. The spirit of 76. That's where we're going with this. The Canadian flag will never see the light of day in athletics or on YSN outside of that moment right there. Enjoy it. And I know he is. He's laughing. He's laughing hard.
He's laughing.
I'm going to return this to sender. Maybe even because I know it came from Amazon. Jeff Bezos has some explaining to do while he's selling Canadian flags on his American. So what do I do with the 10 gallons I just ordered?
You can have maple syrup.
We're going to donate it. Okay. We're going to donate it to a pancake breakfast. So if you're having a pancake breakfast, you need 10 gallons of Canadian maple syrup. We'll get you hooked up with Steve Hemberger, and you guys can chat up about what you're going to do. And then we will give you a Canadian flag as well. It'll go well with the Canadian syrup. But I will tell you this, Steven, these colors don't run. These don't run. America. That's all I got to say, Ant. That's the spark. Before we go, we should probably do the right thing and say thank you to our sponsors, one of which is Greenwood Chevrolet, and you always have a reader for which you are well prepared, and I am not. And my reader always turns into terrible sexual innuendo.
What's on there? Is that your? Oh yeah, I hijacked your reader last week. I won't.
Did.
I won't do anything with your reader this week.
You sure did. Go ahead for Greg Greenwood.
Hey, it is Car Care Month, and as a part of Car Care Month, it is always important to check your brakes and tires. Those are two of the most important safety features on your vehicles. Regular service leads to better handling, a smoother and safer ride, and shorter stopping distances. So make sure to check out Greenwood Chevrolet, their certified service department. They'll take care of you today, and make sure to take full advantage of Car Care Month at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. They'll go the extra mile for you. We do the same here on this show every single day.
And they won't leave you swimming with the fishes.
Yeah.
Or driving in the cornfields. Nothing like that.
And they won't make you an offer you can't refuse.
You know who will make you an offer you can't refuse? Our friends at Toyota of Warren. Tino and the whole team over there doing great work. They've got great deals going on right now. My goodness, some of the Tundras, the Tacomas that they have. We saw Camry yesterday, my wife and I, that we really like. They got a new body on it. They've also got the grill dude, it looks like something out of the future. It's incredible. And you know why it looks like something out of the future? Because they are forward thinking at Toyota, and especially our friends at Toyota of Warren. Make sure if you are in the market for a new or used vehicle, or you need car care, because apparently it's Car Care Month, according to my dear friend, Mr. Anthony Hartwig, check out Toyota of Warren. They'll get you taken care of. They'll get you hooked up. Jim Wilson will get you financed correctly, everything on the dotted line, and he'll make you feel like you are $1 million without spending $1 million. Toyota of Warren, thank you so much for your sponsorship. And that should do it for the show here on this Tuesday. Good show. Thanks to Abby Hadilla popping through. Appreciate you. And then trying to think, Scotty on tomorrow?
Scotty should be on tomorrow. Yeah.
Scotty's on tomorrow. I'm going to reach out. We should have Kyler Bourne on tomorrow. Awesome. Fingers crossed.
Bourne Identity.
The Bourne Identity. The big fella, Big Red, which has carried a nickname for him throughout his 4-year career in baseball. A young man who plays for East Palestine, also plays in summer ball, and certainly one of my favorite human beings playing the sport right now. So we'll have, hopefully, Kyler Bourne can make some time for us tomorrow. If not, we'll get him Thursday or Friday. No big deal. But we have that opening. So, Kyler, if you're out there watching, I'll be texting you here very shortly. That is going to do it for our show. For Anthony Ronald Hartwig, my name is DJ Yoakley. Thank you for tuning in as well. You make it possible that we can do this every day. Crazy life that we live, and we're so grateful to be able to do it and then make you laugh and make you smile somewhere throughout the day. even if it is about sexual innuendos that were unintended.
Unintended. Cannot stress that enough.
Unintended, all of them, even the ones he didn't even know about, but we all did. That is it for the show. We will see you tomorrow at high noon right here on YSN Live. Anthony, may sports be with you.
As to you, my friend.
YSN thanks you for watching this presentation of Your Sports Network. For stories, stats, and more, go to ysnlive.com.